What is up, bros? Josh here. In today's video, we're bringing you a pretty fun game we had and an awesome ending to a game. And this is one that is part of my Break It Down series. And this is a series that I kind of go over games and explain what I was thinking. And this is one I asked on stream if we play these all live, twitch.tv/mejash. As is this a game that you guys would like to have break down? And it was overwhelmingly yes, because they wanted to know when I would think of certain things and how this game kind of ends, which we'll obviously get there in a second. But we had started going down the German destroyers for our Road to Tier 10 series. I'll put a link down below to that series. We go over all the lines in World of Warships and kind of break down from the lowest tier all the way to the highest tier. It's been a long time since I played a lot of these ships. Sometimes it's been years since I played these ships, and how they've aged, if the line has aged well. And we go all the way from the lowest tier to the highest tier, see how ships kind of are working in the meta, see how ships have aged, and we decided to do the German destroyers line we're going to be doing next. We're finishing up the French cruiser line right now, which has been a lot of fun, still a very strong line, and the German destroyers, which I feel like, in my opinion, is a line that really hasn't aged well. I feel like they've been replaced a lot for what they brought to the table with the Royal Navy line, and so we started out and we were playing the V170. So this ship by itself, if you're asking what my captain build is in this, it's not a 19-point captain. I believe at the point this was a 4-point captain. When we start the line, we start with a brand new 0-point captain with, I think, at the tier 2, and we were at, I think, 5 points. So we had pretty much priority target and last stand. That was it. So not like a 19-point captain or anything like that. We do have premium consumables, but other than that, it's nothing too crazy. But this one was a kind of an interesting game, and hopefully this is one that kind of maybe open some eyes about ways to kind of bring home the win. Even somebody in chat said, I would have never thought about doing what you did to win this game. And so that's kind of one way I've kind of taken and changed the way this channel has kind of gone. I kind of enjoy doing the more educational stuff. So this series has done okay, and so let me know in the comments below if you guys like this kind of stuff, where it's kind of just me kind of breaking down what I'm thinking and why I'm doing that, because I really kind of enjoy this, and hopefully maybe you guys can learn something from it and win a couple more games. So playing a DD though, the main thing I focus on as we take out a destroyer. Now it is low tier. I know there's nothing to really brag about with this. These are players that are relatively new, so I'm not trying to say like, oh man, look at me dunk on that DD that sailed broadside. I'm not trying to say that, but the ending of this game is something that I would say is a bit more advanced and probably a lot of people would have never thought of. But main thing I always do, especially in low tiers, destroyers are extremely strong. Extremely strong. Also, RIP RCV. He's going to go try to calf. I don't think it'll quite work. But as a DD, I always play the role of low tiers. DDs are very strong, especially stealthy ones, so I'm going to focus on that. Also going to take advantage if a cruiser does beach and maybe gets into some trouble here. I will use my guns as much as I can. The German destroyers that I'm using, I really don't have the best guns, but they're okay. One thing I've noticed is like, man, the damage would be a little bit better if I was maybe in a USN DD or something else, but we will take advantage of a Yubari that is basically sitting there. Obviously, he's probably not going to have last stand, so we're able to kind of just work this down. But right now, I'm kind of just figuring out where to go. I like to stay centralized a lot, because as we all know, if you've played World of Warships, we know that people, our teams can get kind of walloped. So going from one side to the other, instead of having to rotate back and forth, I tend to try to stay centralized and really just kind of keeping an eye on where the destroyers are. And kind of keeping an idea or an eye of, this is a double CV game as well. So if I need to, I could maybe split the defense and go kill the CV. So always looking for openings and always keeping my eye on the mini-map. If I had like an eye tracker, you would see me probably peer down to my mini-map all the time. I've thought about even doing that on the stream to kind of just maybe every once in a while show an eye tracker of like what I'm looking for, because I'll look in the top right corner to see if I'm doing dot damage, to see if fires are permanent. That's one thing I do all the time. Looking at my mini map all the time, and always keeping just an idea around where I am. This is why I kind of like having priority target as well. It's always a big conversation of if priority target is worth it or not. I do, because it knows that probably the Yubari, which just shot at me, is the only ship detecting me. You know, a lot of people say, well, I'm in a DD, people are shooting at me regardless. I was in the middle of that map within range of a couple ships, and only one was shooting at me. So that's why I like priority target so much. But as a DD, I'm always looking for situations to take advantage of, and I know that this Izokaze, as well as this French cruiser over here, are the only things defending the two CVs. And I also know that there is a B division over here, so there is the Akuma, a Diana, an Orion, and so with those, I'm like, okay, I might have to just split this up a little bit, but their div is actually split up a little bit more than I thought. So I said, okay, you know what, I'm going to rotate over to this other side and try to deal with these, help with the Izzy, help with the Kolberg, and then I could maybe open up a way to take out these battleships with them and try to do what I can. The Kuma is also rotating over, so I was gonna originally go and take out the Izokaze and the French cruiser, but instead I'm going to rotate over to this side, try to help this guy so he doesn't get dev struck by this destroyer, and hopefully take these ships out, because we're down a ship, we're down a CV, which isn't the worst thing at tier 4, although there are a ton of people seal clubbing with the Hosho right now. It's still pretty gnarly and still I think needs a bit more of a nerf, but again, just trying to rotate to see where the low life ships are to get us up on that ship advantage. And so this is, we're gonna rotate over to this side, and then we can hopefully start working on this Myogi, start working on this Kolberg, and then, you know, that guy dies. So I don't want to commit too much to that side. As you see, I am staying very centralized. I'm not going way over to that side, because that will put me a big distance away from like the next play. Basically, always think about where you're going to be going next, not what you're doing right now. And obviously you want to keep an idea of what you're doing right now, but always think about the next play. And I think a lot of people get kind of tunnel visioned. Like if I would have gone around that island to kind of where that Kuma is to help with this Kolberg, I would have had a hard time rotating back over to the other side. So as you see right here, because I didn't go around that, I'm able to actually rotate and help take out this Izokaze. So I'm talking to this division here saying, hey, can you guys take those two? It's tier 4 battleship, a tier 3 cruiser, or tier 4 cruiser versus a tier 4 battleship, and a tier 2, I think Kolberg's tier 2 cruiser. Is it tier 2 or is it tier 3? I think it's tier 3. And so I'm like, okay, we got to split up to win. I got to defend my CV from this Izokaze because he's going up there and defending the cap. So that's what I'm focusing on right now. And I'm like, all right, as I'm trying to bouncing around, going from one end to the other, again, always kind of staying centralized. This is a standard battle. This isn't domination. So obviously when it is domination, you're going to be playing things a lot different because there are going to be caps. And you'll see how we deal with caps a little bit later. With a standard battle and using kind of the freezing strat, if you will, or stopping the cap is something you could do to really kind of help you out and maybe staying a couple extra wins. But I'm trying to defend our CV because not only is it so much our CV doing damage that I really need, it's just his ability to hopefully spot things. I need vision. And it really sucks. I kind of wish I would have stayed on this side because this Izokaze would have never got up here. But I wanted to hopefully help out the other side. And I didn't think that the other ships would have ended up killing. We had a 3v2 on this side. It was 2 battleships, a cruiser versus a cruiser and a destroyer, as well as the CV was helping out that side. So we had a 4v2 that ended up basically all dying. So kind of a bummer there. And so I'm going to rotate over, help out this DD, and kind of continue to pump in damage. So it sucks because, as I said, it's always smart to think about what your next play is. My next play, look at how far away I am from everything. So this was kind of a bummer, but you kind of just got to do it. You kind of got to defend your cap. You have to kind of defend your CV. And always going in, so probably he dumped torps on me. I wasn't sure, so I'm going to head straight in, make it easy to avoid. And he blew through his smoke. So we're going to keep just pumping some damage in here. And we end up getting this kill. But, spoiler alert, it's all for nothing in the end, which kind of sucks. Also, we lost a cruiser, which sucks. He ended up getting dev struck. But our battleship is about to go kind of man mode, and our CV ended up snagging this, which is actually kind of impressive. Gets the kill there, but hey, I'm like, hey, it's gonna be 3v4, right? We're gonna be able to bring this back. Maybe we can work together and get it done. Yada yada yada. It's gonna be all right. I'm gonna have spots and everything. It'll be no big deal. We got a Langley. He's been playing pretty well. He just torped a destroyer. We have an Orion down there, and the Langley ties. So kind of a bad spot when I was like, crap, how do I win this? So I basically have to go and just do work. And I'm like, man, at least he can kill something. So he ends up killing that. He gets his 4th kill, which is awesome. And I'm like, hey, if he can ram that Kaiser and get the 5th kill, we're sitting pretty good, because their 2 CVs really haven't been doing too much, although I only have just about 6k life. It's going to be a rough spot. Also, I have a decent amount of time, which is kind of nice. I'm not in, it's not like 3 minutes left, which I just wouldn't be able to get there. And so, there's only so much I can do at tier 4. So I'm like, okay, it's possible. If you can do that, then I'll be able to probably kill these CVs, assuming they really haven't moved and I can get close to them. So as we're charging full speed down this way, we need to find those CVs. I was hoping that the Hermes, which is actually right here, had moved up into this area, so it would have been a little bit easier. Dealing with 1 CV at a time is obviously much easier than dealing with 2 at a time, because they can cross drop you and blah blah blah. And down our battleship goes. So at this point, I'm like, crap. There's basically no way I can win. The battleship is going to be able to go. They're up ton on points. But I still have time. There's time, and that's the good thing. I'm stealthy, which is good. I'm small. The German destroyers, low tier, are very small in their profile, so they're not the easiest to hit. Also, it's a Kaiser. Kaiser isn't known for its accuracy, so these are all things I'm keeping in mind of what we can kind of do. So I'm like, okay, let's see what we can do. I need to kill these 2 CVs, or at least 1, and try to do it. But if I can kill both CVs, that'd be amazing. So this is low tier maps I love, and what I love about low tier maps is they're relatively small. So there's only so many places they could go. Now with this, I have only 7-kilometer torps, which kind of stinks, but still very doable. So there's the Hermes. Hermes has 3 kills so far, so he's the one I need to focus on the most. And as you see here, I'm not shooting right away. I'm not shooting right away because I want to get torps out. So this person, all the CVs are probably going to stay hyper-focused. And since I only have 7-kilometer torps, I have a 6.1 kilometer detection, and I want to get within range. So he's sailing in a straight line, and I want to get into a spot where I can get my torps off and then open up. That's what I want to do. So I want to get within torp range, as my detection is 6.1. And we're going to dump the torps there, and now I'm opening it up. So if I would have opened up first, he probably could have turned, and you'll see him actually turn here just in a bit. If I would have opened up instantly, I probably wouldn't have got my torps in range. As you'll see here, he's starting to turn. As you can see, the line is kind of easing away a little bit. You'll see how close I am to missing all of these torps, because he started just to turn, just a tad. Hits me a little bit right there, no big deal. And actually, I was surprised that the Kaiser was smart enough to rotate back. I was kind of impressed that the Kaiser rotated back. And boom, we snagged the torps there, and we got the actual kill here. So I'm thinking, okay, this isn't bad. I still need to be careful though. I only have 4,000 life. He snags me with the hit there. And the Langley, well, the Langley is, he's not moving very far. He's slow. It's a Langley. There's nothing he's really going to do. So, Jimmy, I'm sorry. It's a little bit easy of a kill here. But we got the good CV, quote-unquote good CV, I guess, if you will, out of the way. And we're able to pump in torps here. So, here we have a interesting situation. We were able to get the CVs. He missed his torps, but now we're still going to be down on points. And this is where kind of the more advanced stuff comes in, and this is where I'm kind of thinking. This is where, you think in your head, well, I have to kill this guy. Not really. So, as you see, we have tons of time. Time was on our side. And as you see, the guy here is like, hey, smoke up. Smoking up is nothing. So, this is where the 200 IQ, kind of new players probably wouldn't think of this, and this is something I wanted to kind of show the most on this video, is what you can do is in standard battles, that is, this not so much in domination, but in standard battles, you can freeze the cap. And so as you see in points, the points are ticking up in an incremental time. As you see 2 points there, in a little bit you'll see 2 points, another 2 points. I think it's every 3 seconds, and it's increasing that. But if you pause the cap, your cap will continue to go up, and theirs won't. So the plan right here is I'm going to go try to freeze their cap. And by doing that, that'll hopefully give us the lead when it comes to it. Again, just getting in range to get my torps off and staying dark. Luckily, I still have about 5 minutes to play with. Worst case scenario, I have to go in and maybe do like a YOLO charge. Again, it is a Kaiser, as you see by the dispersion right here. Kaiser isn't super accurate, and so that's something I'm also keeping in mind, is that it is a fairly inaccurate battleship. So you'll see me use that. So he just fired, so that means I have about a 20-some second window, and what I'm trying to do right now is get a force on a repair. So he's going to take one torp here, and I'm like, please flood. Please flood, because that makes my life so much easier. Doesn't flood, a bit of a bummer. Also, one thing I can do here is I'm trying to make them force the repair. And what I mean by that is making them use the repair, so that means all the rest of the fires and floods will stick. Or at least for a, a minute plus, whatever it is on low tiers. Most people don't have high-level captains, so you can have a very long duration fire. Some people at low tiers still don't use, or a lot of people at low tiers still don't use the premium repair. So the window is pretty big. Also, what we're doing right here is we're forcing Ha-Rich away from me. Obviously, he's at a point where a lot of people on his team are telling him just to run. And, that's what a lot of people in chat are like, hey, he's just going to run away. There's nothing he can do. But I'm trying to force him away. He wants to get away from taking fire. No one likes taking fire in this game. And what does that do? Well, that gets him far enough away from me to then, because a battleship doesn't want to take torps. He just took one. And he has the lead. He doesn't need to really do anything, right? But that's going to push him far enough away so I can hang out in this little corner, get enough distance. Since I don't have a 10-point captain with concealment expert, I have 6.1 kilometer detection. I can actually go on the cap now because I have this buffer. The torps pushed him away, my gunfire pushed him away, and he's going to keep going. Now, he does actually play this correctly to a point. He does rotate back. Some people would have just ran away. Other people maybe just would have charged me. I think maybe if he charged me, I probably can kill him just with torps and staggering the floods. But right now, he's running away. Someone on his team saying, hey, just run, man. We have the lead. He can't win. He's got to kill you. But we have our big brain here. As you see, he's turning right here. So it's a bit sketchy. I'm like, man, just run away. It's an easy win that way. But we're watching that 6-kilometer range, and there we go. We are officially stopping the cap, and you will see us down by about 25 points, and that is going to diminish very quickly because every few seconds we get 2 points, they do not. So as you see here, they have 475 and we're up to almost 460, and I'm just watching my detection and I'm watching the distance between him and I. And he plays this well. He plays this for a low tier battleship. He plays this very well. Also, we're using that bit of knowledge that we know that the Kaiser is not that accurate of a ship because he's going to get close here. And as you see right here, his guns aren't on me. We have about 30-some seconds before, 31 seconds before our smoke comes up. So this is a sketchy little window right here. And I'm saying, you know what? I'm just going to stick it. Because if I stay in this cap, he only has, he's going to have basically 2 of his turrets. So he's going to have his front turret and one of the side ones, depending on which side he picks. And with that, he misses the first one. And we're going to keep hanging on cap. So this is a ballsy spot right here. He hits me with one of them. And he doesn't have any more besides the back side. So he has to turn full. And we're going to take one more tick. And there we go. We officially have the lead. We're going to smoke up right here. Again, we get lucky that it doesn't hit me there. And he's going to turn in. So here we're also using our smoke. We go 480 to 479. We take the lead. He doesn't have a repair because he repaired the fire. And we're going to use this. Now, what he did is he curled this way, which means I'm going to keep this smoke in between me and stay far, far away, kind of basically run in a straight line. And then if he's going to keep running or turning this way, I'm going to slowly curl up to the right. Now, if he would have came this way, I would have just ran to the south. So his direction is basically the way he picked decided which way I'm going. I know I'm running away, but it's just north or south. Since he turned south, I'm going to slowly curl north, but keeping the smoke in between me. If he would have turned north, kind of towards this side to get his guns on me, I would have just ran to keep the smoke in between and ran south. So This is the ending of the game. We end up winning just barely, and so kind of a 200 IQ breaking it down. This is something that I thought was actually pretty cool. It made sense to me instantly, but everyone's like, oh man, I can't believe you won that. And so I kind of like this series in the way of kind of opening up maybe some other options of winning some games. We didn't need to kill, we just needed to freeze at the cap. And I hope you guys maybe learned something from this. So kind of a cool little ending there. You don't really see that. Very, very close, so that was probably cool. I mean, you saw some people even in my game chat that were telling me to run early. We would have lost if that person would have done it because they didn't get the points all the way up. He was telling me to run away when we didn't have the lead yet. We would have lost. So very close ending, very fun game, and was kind of cool. And I thought I'd make a little video kind of explaining what was going on, and hopefully this helps you out, maybe snags you a couple extra wins. But anyways, guys, that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.